This conference will now be recorded.
All right, as always, everything we're going to be talking about is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So we came into this morning with a very, very weak pre-market. And it kind of carried over a little bit. We got some real nice moves, but just things did not last very long today. We got a lot of things kind of floating around a little bit, but not as much as we'd like to see. But we're certainly setting up for a lot of different stories. Let's talk about the first one, EA. This morning coming into EA, we know we had buying coming up around that 101. Then as we came back over to 102, we just made an excellent move, beautiful move towards that top side of things, getting to a high of almost at 107. Now, we didn't hit 107. We ended up triggering down, which gave us a beautiful short, not only the first time, but the second time. We had a bunch of bid prints that came in at that 105 level that ended up bringing us back up to that double top. But being able to break a double top with selling underneath is not an easy thing whatsoever, and it really has not looked back since. So as Vince had just said in the chat room, really the biggest thing right now, I mean, we're almost at 100, so there's not really much to even think about right this second until we either get to 100 and it shows us exactly what we're going to be looking for, or if those buyers come in and stop this thing from being able to get back towards there to really show us where we're going. So the prints at 100, remember, so 100 being probably one of the biggest psychological numbers that a stock can ever hit. We're going to have to see what comes in there. It looks like we're about 2 cents away. We have a little bit. All right. So basically what that just shows us right now is we're going to hit that 100 level. It's going to come down a little bit, but we're going to end up going back up. Remember, the range on this thing is absolutely huge. So coming back up to this 102.11 print line from before is not out of the question whatsoever. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm going to be looking for it to go back up on that pull-up, but then overall going to break back and not be able to hold over that 100 level. So EA certainly love what I see going on there. So Cron this morning, Cron didn't really give us as much as we would have liked to. So we know where we had that selling that was coming in around that 30, around that 40. We ended up pulling back up just a little bit before we got a huge trigger coming back down. But it's just been very, very consolidated pretty much all morning. Beautiful short, beautiful long coming in. I mean, based off the range that we saw them moving, but just not really much going on out there. I mean, it's just extremely, extremely consolidate within its trading. Now, SQ was an easy one. SQ this morning, we talked about how we had beautiful selling that came into that 74 level twice. We needed to go up and actually break above the buying that we saw at that 75, and it did exactly that. I mean, beautiful move, trigger right up towards that 75.50 level. But the thing is that when we came down to 75, we ended up getting selling 2 times there. So having selling 2 times at that 75 tells us that we needed a bigger extended pull up before we really can get down to to all that selling that we have underneath it. And we can see with beautiful, I mean, that was just an easy trade. Beautiful move towards that 76 level. Did not hit 76, ended up triggering back down for our short. But hopefully, it should let me show it. There we go. What we need to understand though is that 75 level, big psychological number. What that tells us is that it's going to have a hard time holding that. Just like any stock in the world, breaking above a psychological number is going to have a hard time being able to hold. And we talked about how many times we saw 75 bid. We got it again. And this is not just a little bit of selling. This is it's a big burst of someone coming in. Not only there, but then also at 74.90 underneath that 75. So we're pretty much getting to that point, guys, where we don't need to go up anymore in SQ. We've essentially satisfied, not all yet, because we haven't got to pull up above that 75 level as much as we like. And based off those selling prints that we just saw at 75, we should get a pretty substantial pull up where they're going to be leading people in back to thinking that this stock is going up. And you can see we're starting to go in an uptrend. It looks beautiful towards that long side, but the long side is not the play. Not with how much selling we've actually seen come into the stock compared to the buying that we saw out there. And really, I only have 2 other things I'm looking at this afternoon. One other thing is Grub. Now, Grub is really just a beautiful trend, and the volume itself is garbage. You can see all today. I mean, the volume has just been very sporadic. Nothing over 100,000 shares, just moving, but not really doing that much at all. So we're going to need some type of prints, but with a beautiful trend, I mean, it just adds a huge variable to what we're looking for to actually be able to trade within it. And just, like I said, overall, just looks great, on paper. We need those prints to tell us that we're going to be able to continue moving along. And then, like I said, the only other thing I have is PTI. Now, PTI is not the the prettiest stock that I've ever seen move before. It's up 33%, which is not bad at all. But coming up to that 4 level before, we had some pretty decent buying, ended up coming back down. And then if we look over here, you can see as we're coming up towards that 450, we have got a little bit of new buying, not even close to the amount that I would like. 425 pretty much gave us the most. Okay, 425, 429. You could see someone definitely likes it where we're sitting right this second. So overall, it's another one where it's going to need. You could see it's happening all day. You get a pull down, a move up, a pull down, just completely in consolidation, and then out of nowhere that volume comes in. So it really, if there was a longer list, then I absolutely would put it on the side list, but because there's just not much going on out there, we don't really have that much to pay attention to. Really, what we're going to be looking for is just that volume bar to come out of nowhere to push us back up over that 450 level. And that is about it. Other than that, I'm just not really that interested in really anything else that's going on. I mean, we'll take a look at the scanner real quick, but I just did this and you can see, I mean, the volume today is just not there. That's fine. One thing to keep in mind, guys, as well, is that somebody even asked, it's too hard keeping up with all these days that we get off, because apparently in the beginning of the year it's every other week, but on Monday the market is actually closed for President's Day. So we only have we have a 5-day week obviously here, but we only have a 4-day week coming into tomorrow as well. So that really doesn't give me the highest of hopes for our Thursday and Friday afternoons. Just, really, I mean, based off of everything we've said, I really haven't had that high of hopes for the afternoon volumes. Just kind of real slow with this whole government shutdown, with just everything that we see going on. But let's take a look at our scanners. SPI, nothing. PTI, we've already spoken about. OTLK, just absolute garbage. Nothing there that we could do anything with, and that's pretty much it there. And then going over to the loser side, it's even worse. I mean, you can see there's just nothing there with any really substance behind it, any real volume behind there. So not much going on at all. So that pretty much seems like it. Now, anything else out there that I missed? Yeah, that pretty much looks like it. All right, guys. So let's get ready for the afternoon. Remember, it only takes that one. What we're looking for, don't try to overplay it. We're looking for 50-cent trades here and there. So once we see them start to come in, once we see those prints, and the most important thing is the trading volume, then we can kind of jump on it from there. But let's not try to do too much. Let's make sure the trade comes to us and not try to jump after it. I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.